Good afternoon, friends. I am again before you with a new leading case law from the syllabus of Advocate on Record examination of the Supreme Court of India. In this video, we will dive into case law PA Inamdar versus State of Maharashtra, which was decided by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in the year 2005. And this case addresses the issue of the right of private educational institutions which are unaided. That means getting no financial support from the government. And the issue was to admit students without government intervention and set their own admission criteria. This was the issue. Now coming to the facts of the case. This case involved the challenge to Maharashtra unaided private professional educational institutions regulation of admission and fees Act 2003. The Act imposed a regulatory framework on private professional educational institutions, mandating that a certain percentage of seats to be filled through a common entrance test and that the institutions follow a government prescribed admission process. Petitioners, represented by private educational institutions, argued that the provision of the Act violated their right to establish and administer their educational institutions under Article 19, Subclass 1G of the Constitution of India, which grants the right to carry on trade or business, including in the field of education. So, the key issues which were before the court were: number one, whether the state can regulate the admission process in private unaided educational institutions. Second issue was whether the reservation of seats and imposition of a common entrance test are consistent with the fundamental rights of the educational institutions. So, the Honorable Supreme Court, while giving judgment, said that it ruled in favor of the private institution to some extent, holding that private unaided institutions have the right to establish and manage their institutions. However, it held the government's interest in regulating admissions to ensure merit-based selection and equal opportunity for all students also. So this was balancing judgment, keeping in view the rights of both the parties. So the key observation in the judgment were, firstly, it explained Article 91G. The court held that the right to establish and administer educational institution is a part of fundamental right under Article 19 subclause 1G. But it is not an absolute right. The state has the power to regulate the process to ensure fairness and to promote excellence in education. Second was the issue of admission process. While the court acknowledged the right of private institutions to admit students, it upheld the government's right to regulate a certain percentage of admission, that is through common entrance test, to ensure merit-based selection and prevent the commercialization of education. Third issue was regarding reservation. The court allowed some degree of reservation but emphasized that it should not be excessively burdensome on the private institutions, particularly in the context of professional courses. So the judgment struck a balance between the autonomy of private educational institutions and need for the state to regulate education to promote social justice and academic standards. Now, let us discuss impact of the judgment. The judgment played a pivotal role in shaping the legal landscape for private educational institutions in India. It clarified the extent to which the state could, sorry, it clarified the extent to which the state could regularize private institutions while respecting their autonomy. It also influenced the debate on the commercialization of education and balance between merit and social justice through reservation in admission. So this was a short video.